Okay.
It's been a while, man, hasn't
I know.
I would say it's been too long, isn't it? The wait.
I would love to get a schedule going, but I'm busy on a Monday. You're busy on Tuesday and Wednesday.
We're just always busy.
It's just, life gets in the way, doesn't it?
That's what happens for you.
Maybe once the sponsorships start rolling in, then we can officially set aside.
What was it? You were saying about 100 subscribers and we could have our own.
Yeah, so we're at 90 right now.
Mm-hmm.
We were at 91 and then somebody unsubscribed.
Why? Why would you unsubscribe?
The constant, well not constant, semi-constant flow of content. It's the summer that's
it's
fun.
good content.
Yes, yeah.
It's the best.
Quality, not quantity.
We're not biased or anything.
Oh no. That's not on.
Nah, it's
you can't do that.
It can't be.
It's like the BBC.
But why is it important we get to 100, Dan? Why is it important we get 100 subscribers?
Because as I've just been describing to Marc, I'm a stickler for detail.
Mm-hmm.
And when you've got less than 100 subscribers, you go on The Perfect Balance, search at YouTube, and you click on us, not that yoga woman.
No,
not the
yoga woman.
No. Pam, I think her name is.
Pam.
Yeah, it's imposter, even though she was there first. But who's the real Perfect Balance, let's be honest. Yeah, so if you go on, you click our page, it'll come up like youtube.com/ and it's just letters, random letters. But that's it. If we get to 100 subscribers, we can edit the URL and it could be YouTube / The Perfect Balance. Unless she's got that already, then it might have to be The Perfect Balance Podcast.
That's your bonus, Paul, isn't it?
So, like and subscribe, please.
Please do it. Come on, guys. Yeah.
We got over 200 likes on Facebook now. So why are they here?
Where are they?
Where are you in the words of Delia Smith? Maybe that's why I'm wearing yellow. I don't know.
There's been good views as well on the vlogs and that, guys.
Fourth video getting over 500 views. Nothing to do with Dundee, scored loads of goals. Nothing to do with that.
No, not at all.
I did like in that video that we had the opportunity to do the same shot 3 times of like Dundee players celebrating, Dundee fans celebrating in the shot. Pan to you, going, yeah! And then down at Ali's just like that, getting angrier and angrier. If anyone did wonder, he legitimately did leave at just at that 4th goal.
He did.
He
missed them scoring.
There might have been a few people wondering, him and Dan swap seats.
No.
And they're doing it for the YouTube drama.
No, you left.
This isn't 2016 and there's no diss track coming out for album. Maybe we should do that. Should we start doing diss tracks on each other? Oof. Just to get the rivalry going. And we'll have like a celebrity, a white collar boxing match between us. Ali versus Marc. Just
piece of piss, is it?
Yeah, he wiped the floor. I used to box down in London. So, apparently he did.
Well, we'll see.
But yeah, so if it could be so nice as to do that, then it would give me something sad to be able to do. But also it would show growth. It's a milestone, isn't it?
Exactly.
We're doing this for a while now. It'd be nice to crack 100 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And we do, not all the time, but a lot of the time we do get over 100 views. So there's people watching. There's enough people to get that.
Well, anyway, guys,
small milestones.
We appreciate it, but go that extra step and just subscribe.
So we can go above the shot as I'm doing now and smash through the ceiling.
Bang.
Of triple figures.
Boom.
But anyway.
Why are we here today then?
Well, it's pre-season prediction time. Oof. We were a bit late on them.
It's not long now.
We were a bit late on them last year and we styled it out by saying we just wanted to wait until the transfer window was open. But in reality we should have done it full start.
Yeah, we should have.
You know.
But anyway, live and learn. This is it. That's it. Growth, as you say.
Learn and grow. Learn and grow.
We're just blossoming now.
That's it.
But
good band.
This is I love that. Very good. Yeah. But yes. Yeah. So we're here and we're going to do our predictions, aren't we?
Now last year we only did predictions for the the Cinch Premiership, aka the Scottish Premiership, aka the Scottish Premier League, etc., etc. A league of many names. But you're not in it this year, are you? No. So what we're doing instead? Well, in addition to, rather.
Well, what we're going to have to do, because Dundee's my team, as you all know, we're going to start with our predictions on the Championship.
Yes.
This coming season. So we thought it's fitting to do. Well, it's not fitting. We need to do it. It's simple as that.
We're going to be covering it.
It's what everyone wants. Why hear about Dundee?
Yeah.
You know?
The real football.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, you can't pay at the gate.
Yeah, it's a joke. people are absolutely fuming about that still, but it's It's just a big fiasco. I won't bore people with tears, but basically, attitude in the club shop is not the best.
I pointed out, I don't know if I said it on the video, but I pointed out to Marc last week that when you're buying tickets for the game, I've been to 2 of the League Cup games at Dens this season already. I didn't vlog the Hamilton game. I think I forgot to. But anyway, I'm sorry. I mean, it was 3-0, standard win. But they made the mistake on the ticket. It said the Premier Sports Cup.
Yeah, they keep
and they did it. They did it for the forfeit game as well.
Have you seen the recent mistake?
They've outdone themselves. Yeah.
Well, as you know, the opening game is on Saturday, guys. Dundee are playing Partick Thistle.
Are they?
Yeah.
Short with them.
But, however, made an error
Yep.
which says Patrick Thistle.
Partick Thistle.
It's
my middle name, so maybe it's.
Is it your middle
You
name?
don't know that?
No.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. So
Daniel Patrick Michael.
Yeah, it's my team now.
I'm gonna call you Big Pat now.
Yeah. It's a very fantasy league name. Patrick Thistle.
Yeah.
It's like that's up there with like Murder on Zidane's
Made
floor.
Up United.
Made Up United. Only the LFC.
Couple
Like Rick
Rick
Salvin.
But no, so we might as well start there then, eh?
Yeah.
So like I need to get my tickets still. Because I'm actually going to be taking my good lady Amy to the game as well. She's getting a treat to
Subjecting to
go. I know, it's a shame. But I just thought, you know what? It's going to be here the weekend. Might as well take her and let her experience the Mighty D's
You've got somebody
and the
to
Derry as
You've
well.
got somebody to hold the camera for you then.
Sean's going as well.
Yeah. Oh, there you go, Sean then.
Aye.
Get the happy couple on.
But
That's what we want.
We shout out to Amy.
God bless you, darling.
I know. Nah, she'll be alright. She'll enjoy it. I'm sure she will.
Enjoy it.
I might not enjoy it, but
I've got
we'll see.
Aberdeen on Sunday. That's our first game.
At Parkhead.
Yeah. And again, because life gets in the way, me and John haven't been able to do a jaunt to Glasgow to do our pre-season videos out there. I reckon John's just subtly just not got back to me because I think he's, you know what he's like. I don't think he'd be well up for in front of camera. So we'll get him on one day.
Aye.
So I might just do a wee 2-minute thing outside Parkhead and say,
I think we're going to do quite well. Hopefully.
We've got 20 times the budget.
We've got new banners. We've got new banners. The old ones were a bit faded in the sun, but we've got new ones now.
we're making a big deal about that. And it's like,
Banners?
Yeah, we've got new banners, yeah.
Lovely.
Because you know how the outside of Parkhead's a bit boring? Because it's like, it looks like a Real Betis strip. It's like green, white, green, white. So for the last like 5 or 6 years, maybe even longer than that now, they've had these banners to cover the boring exterior of the stadium. And it's just like had club legends basically all along the side. Kind of like Arsenal have got on their stadium. But they've been out there for a long time and all the colour had faded. So it looked like it'd been in the wash too many times.
Right.
So they've replaced them. I think it's
Freshened
just like Billy McNeil holding the European Cup now. It's pretty cool.
This one.
Yeah. So yeah.
So will we start with our predictions
Yeah,
then?
we'll go down to the Championship now.
Right, okay. Not too far.
So bear in mind,
Just one step.
I know not a lot about that league, having never been in it, never had to watch it for great lengths.
Okay,
But I have tried my best to try and guess where everyone's going to end up. So it'll be interesting to see, I think, how accurate I get it as a guy just going, compared to somebody who, you know, is used to sort of that level of football a bit more and can see. So, you
The
know,
harsh reality of the game.
and before we start,
Uh-huh.
I've had a thought, right?
Oh.
And I think you'll be up for this.
Oh.
How about across the 2 leagues, we make it into a wee competition
Okay.
and we see how many positions we get right
Right.
over the both leagues.
At the end of the season.
Yeah, and then the loser has to do a forfeit.
What, shave your hair off or something?
I don't know. we can decide that at a later stage. And
Or we'll let our fans decide.
maybe. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, let our fans decide.
Yeah, get fucking commenting.
Aye,
That gives you an
it's
excuse.
about time, we
What
always
do
say
you
it.
What do you want? This is very YouTubey, but I like it. What do you want the forfeit to be? So this will be
We'll
what.
do that, well, there it is, and it'll
Yeah.
come up on screen.
Yeah. Well, we're going to give them options, maybe.
Options A,
Yeah.
B,
Yeah.
or C.
Yeah. So we'll figure out what these are going to be
Uh-huh.
before we upload this. So probably after we're finished.
Aye, we'll
And
decide.
we'll put it to you. So comment below, either here or on our Facebook page, what you want what you want the forfeit to be. Either what me and Marc are going to do at the end of the season.
Gentleman's
I think,
agreement.
yeah. You've also got a bet with Robbie for a final. I can't remember what it is. Can you remember what it is? Maybe it was at the end of the
Hearts to win
season.
the league or something.
I don't know. It was an old Dundee won the league. Wasn't definitely wasn't Hearts to win the league.
Was it Dundee win the league?
It might have been.
It was, wasn't it?
We'll need to look back on
Yeah.
it, but it's in there
I think
somewhere.
it was.
Yeah.
think
Find it and tell us what it was before. Do our job for us, come on. Anyway, right,
And
so
you want me to start then?
You
want me to
start.
start seeing as it's my league this
you
season?
go through and then I'll do mine. Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know about the championship, maybe like Dan, there's 10 teams in the championship.
I know it exists. I know the
Yeah.
basics of it. But yeah, go on.
It's just so that people know, opposed to the 12 teams in the...
So for all our fans
Premiership.
in Senegal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's 10 teams in the championship. So what we're going to do is we're just going to... I'll go through my predictions from 1st to 10th place anyway. So to finish first, I'm backing my boys. I'm backing Dundee.
The D's.
Yeah, the D's, the mighty D. Like I said to you in the kind of, you know, earlier on in the video how we were going round to the grounds, I know I'm gonna fucking, it's gonna come back to bite me in the arse. I know it will.
I'm getting the clip. I'm getting the clip ready already.
Yeah. But
Cut.
I think it's generally the weakest championship it's been in a long time. That has been.
You've doubled down.
Because you've always got like
the shot.
you've always got like a tricky team that's in that league.
Like
That's
a
gonna
Hearts
push
last
you.
time, for
A
example.
Hearts
Who galloped away from you.
or maybe like obviously United or you know even Hibs when they were in the Rangers.
Remember that?
Aye. Sorry, the Rangers.
Yes. Yeah.
But anyway, there's always like a tough team that you're going to have to come up against. In
But
that
you're now
league.
thinking you're that team.
And I think
Are you thinking
we
if
are-
you're looking around and you can't figure out who that team is, you must be that team.
We are that team.
Big
I
club.
mean, we are. We're a huge club. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. We are. And I've obviously, we've both actually seen Dundee a couple of times. So you went at the Hamilton game and obviously most recently the Forfar game as well.
Two of the home games in the League Cup. And you just look good. I would say more the Hamilton game was more of the where are they?
Championship.
The thing I thought, and we'd done it to death last season, Dundee have a good team, but they have no tactics and no coaching. This year already they look like they have a tactic and they look like they have a better coach already because they're executing that tactic. It's not as if they're just putting players out on the pitch and not... You can, again, if you know football, you can tell as soon as you watch a new manager's team, you're like, okay, I can see what he's trying to do. You're relying a lot more on your centre forward to sort of drop into a number 10 almost, pick up the ball from the midfield, get it out to the wingers.
I quite like it because we've got
your
more
foot-
of a
your foot-
variation there.
Cammy Kerr, I've noticed, especially is getting a lot further forward than I've seen him before. A lot of the times last season you would see you get the ball and the first thing he'd be doing was
Go back.
turning round. He would either be going back or he'd be turning 180 and blindly humping it up the line. Whereas now, he's not always picking up the ball anymore. It's more the centre half's giving it into the midfield. And then,
Let them kind of bomb on almost.
I mean, one of the goals, I think it was McGinn's goal against Forfar.
Brilliant goal.
Cammy Kerr was like, all jokes aside, like a white calf on the goal line, getting a great ball from Anderson, cut back to McGinn. Tapping. That's what Dundee are going to have to do a lot of, I think, against low blocks this season because you're going to be probably that team who are dominating more games. So it's a good sign that because you are probably going to have to score goals like that. You're not going to
think a bit more.
You're not going to be hitting teams on the counter as much. You're going to probably dominate possession a bit more. So you need to be comfortable on the ball. Obviously, Forfar is not.
No, it's not a real test.
But
Respectfully.
excuse me, part-time team, 2 divisions below you. But even then, they were knocking it about, and they were. It's not as if they were making mistakes. They were calm under no pressure. But like again, it's better than them not being able to pop the ball around, pop it. Yeah, we own for Ross there. But the early signs are good, and I think there was clearly a way that Boyer wants to play.
Yeah, well, that's talking about Bowyer as well. Like you could see a massive difference straight away with him there. Like especially the kind of feel good factor that he's bringing back, because obviously we've had a lot of, pardon my French, shite. Well, obviously McPake, and you know what? Like I did feel for McPake because he done a good job as getting promoted to the Prem.
He was a good player.
The first exactly. He's a good guy.
That was it. As much as Dundee fans were like, oh, McPake, he was still one of you lot in a way because he put his time in with the
Oh,
club.
he did, yeah. And he was obviously a youth coach and everything as well, youth
There was
manager.
McGee's there because Strachan's called his mate.
Yeah,
Not because he deserves to be the Dundee manager.
Exactly. But like what I was going to say is because like obviously we knew at the start of the season McPake was playing good football but not getting the results. And it was almost like he was like, fuck, I need to change it, and panicked. And then what did he do? He ended up just kind of blowing the lid and just trying to hoof it, and then the players didn't really know what was going on. And then obviously we got the laughing stock as Marc McGee that came in, and it was just a shit show. Everyone knew it from the start, and like you say, the only reason he did get it was because of Strachan. We all know that. But anyway,
happy days
now.
You're going to win the league.
Now we've actually seemed to have got a manager in that knows what he's doing. He's wanting to bring that confidence back to the team because we know that there's a good core there, there's a good spine of the team in there. And the one thing that's really pleasing me just now as well is the amount of our youth academy that's playing in the team, and that's really important to me.
Was it Lyle Cameron? Looks very good.
Very good player.
Good winger. He scored 2 goals. 2 goals in 2 games in the games I was at already. Did he play away at Queen's Park?
He came on, yeah.
He's been getting about 20-25 minutes when I've seen him.
Aye. He looks good when he comes on.
He wants the ball, he wants to take people on. And you don't see as much as enough of that, I think.
No. But I think like my three key players this season is Max Anderson, as you know, I've raved about him before in previous podcasts. I think this is his chance to really kick on because he's playing at that lower level again. He's played in the Prem and he's came up against good players.
He needs to be a star at this level.
Exactly. He needs to kick on and show how good he is now. I know he's still only 19, 20, but still he needs to just be the main man.
Well, if you want to be a good SPL player, for a good team, you need to be breaking through.
Oh, definitely. So that's one of the 3. The other one is I was raving about to you at the Forfar game is Mulligan. I think he's a very good player, and like I said to you, you don't really get players like him nowadays that just so direct. Almost like his first thought is just to run at someone. And he's strong, powerful, tall guy, and you know he's good in the air as well, surprisingly. But he's confident in playing as well. He's a good ball player in that as well because he's very versatile. He's actually a fullback. He's a right back.
Really?
Yeah, and he was playing centre mid. Remember when we beat Hibs 3-0? He was playing centre mid with Anderson because they dropped Adam that game.
Is that his position going forward? Do you think centre mid?
Well, I think now it looks like Boyers want to play him at right mid, right winger now.
Oh yeah.
But he's a very versatile player as well. He's only 19.
That's what you need throughout a season though. When people like if Cammy Kerr picks up an injury, you can go there.
Exactly.
If McGinn and McMullen are both out, Cameron's maybe not playing wide. Or you can play. You need players.
Exactly. Like that. So like I mean,
so
that's two players straight out our youth academy. Another one is we've just spoke about Lyle Cameron. He got Player of the Year at Montrose last season as well, and like Montrose fans were raving about him, and he contributed a lot to them because they were quite unlucky about getting.
Yeah, they lost. They threw it away on the last day, didn't they?
They did, yeah. But he was getting rave reviews there, and
Robertson was there as well, wasn't he? Montrose. Was it Montrose he was at last season? Cove, sorry. Well, they won the league, didn't they?
Yeah, but I would say that Cameron, obviously, I've only seen little snippets because I don't watch Montrose. I'll hold my hands up to that. So, but what I mean is like, obviously, I've watched him in the Queen's Park game. I've seen him, obviously, the Forfar game.
And he was good against.
And he was good, and he looked sharp, and he was good against Hamilton. I've seen the goals and that, and he took it well, and he took the goal against Forfar very well too. Looks technically a good player, and he could be that attacking mid. And to be honest, I think it's a good thing because, as I was saying to you as well, Paul McGowan, he's actually looked good. He looks sharp. He looks fit. He seems motivated. He doesn't seem as frustrated.
It's got to be the hair.
It's got to be the hair cam. But what I do like is, say, like you say, that last half an hour in a game, 20 minutes, to bring on a player like him that's keen and eager to impress is going to be very, very important for us.
And maybe as the season goes on, he might start getting more starts.
Exactly.
So,
but yeah, that's my 3 players to keep an eye on this season.
Ones to watch.
So sorry, I know I went on a rant about my team,
okay.
but we won't go into too much rants about the other teams, right? But anyway,
I've also got Dundee to win the league
Yeah.
for reasons So what he said.
We could do this at the same time.
Yeah, we'll do
anyway,
it. Why not? Yeah.
So, who I've got is second in the table is Inverness. To be honest, obviously Inverness are always
I also have Inverness. I've just checked. Yeah.
Inverness are always there or thereabouts, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like they always tend to be like. Obviously, we went to the Arbroath Inverness playoff game at Gayfield.
It was one of the worst games of football I've ever
It
watched.
was in
They
Inverness.
just look knackered,
Yeah.
especially Arbroath.
Aye.
Again, part-time team,
Yeah.
long season, overachieving, and then having to play another 4
I know.
games. Mental. Oh,
It's,
no, was it not?
Nah, well,
Yeah,
that was,
2 extra games,
yeah,
whatever it was.
yeah. But still, it was a brutal game. But and I would say Inverness were really fortunate that game as well. I would say Arbroath were probably the better team that game. To be fair, they had more chances anyway. But anyway, what I'm saying is Inverness always seem to be there or thereabouts, and they do tend to have those couple of good players. One thing I did notice in the transfer incoming is, do you remember the young, but I don't know if you remember, but that Daniel Mackay, have you heard of him before? No. He's a winger.
No, Barry Mackay.
But he went, yeah.
And Billy Mackay.
But no, Daniel Mackay, he's only a young lad, 19. He came through Inverness Youth Academy, and then he got signed from Hibs last season for good money, I think, as well. But he never got a game for them, and he ended up on loan to Kelly. And obviously Kelly had been promoted, but he's actually went on loan back to Inverness this season.
Interesting.
So I would say he's one to keep
With
an
a
eye
point
on.
to prove.
And he's a good player. Like I've seen him in a couple of games because I obviously watched him when it was Dundee Inverness, and he was playing for Inverness that season, and he did look good. He looked sharp. So I would say he's one to keep an eye on. I think he'll be important for them this season.
I've gone Inverness because they're in the playoffs. And our mate's cousin plays for them, so
yeah.
Go on, Scott Allardyce.
He's a Dundee man as well, isn't he?
Maybe he'll come home one day.
Well,
yeah.
That's it. Keep doing your thing, mate. Keep doing your thing. Well, we'll jump on to third place.
Patrick Thistle, you've got.
ART.
the greatest football team.
We'll go for them third.
Kingsley Football Club.
We'll go for them third, Dan. I think. I think that they're actually quite a good side, to be fair. I mean, they've got probably one of the worst pitches in Scotland, to be fair, at home. Because did you see the nick of it?
No.
No,
The pitch itself.
The pitch
That's like a nice wee ground.
No, not the ground. I mean the pitch.
Yeah.
But like it's an absolute.
Was it as
shambles.
bad as when Motherwell and Gretna shared Fir Park?
That was an absolute state.
Or just Tannadice on a
mate,
normal
I think-
season.
Aye, exactly. Tannadice.
The Tatty field.
But mate, it was an absolute state. I don't know, because Partick, I mean, obviously they got promoted from League One, didn't they? And then they had quite a good season in the Championship. They were maybe mid-table or something.
I thought they
Or
were playing.
maybe
Did they get to the
playoffs.
playoffs? Yeah.
Were the playoffs?
I think they might have been. If they weren't, they weren't far off it.
Aye. And obviously the boy that we signed from them, Zach Rudden, he was kind of their main man. But talking about the strikers, do you see who they brought in?
No, who's come back?
They signed Danny Mullen.
Oh no, I did see that. Yeah.
Aye. So Danny
Get your money on him
was
to score a hat-trick against Dundee.
Fuck, we're playing them on Saturday, so...
Yeah, I did that. My mate told me that the other day, actually. What?
I mean, you know what? He'll obviously be chomping at the bit to play us.
He's like,
on Saturday.
I live in Glasgow now. What? Mary Hill is wonderful.
Magical.
Yeah.
But
Going to the garage after the game.
I mean, that's a good signing for them in Championship, I would say. But I mean,
Do you think Danny Mullen's more of a garage or a cat house man?
definitely garage.
Garage, yeah. I think he's more GBX than like
Definitely.
rock music.
Aye, definitely. 100%. But I mean, there was a reason that we didn't want him anyway. But
He just didn't
you
score.
know what?
He didn't like. It was one of them. It was a rock in a hard place. He didn't score enough goals for Dundee, but did he get enough service? No. But
You know what,
already I would say that Rudden does look good though. He does fit into that system. He's quite happy to
Aye.
drop in and drift, and he's
I mean, they've been playing Kubiak now. Kubiak, funnily enough, Kubiak was actually on loan to Partick last season. But Kubiak's obviously now back at us.
and I'm
And he
there.
looks sharp and he
Yeah.
looks quite
He's been scoring.
ready. Yeah. I mean, when I seen him against Queen's Park, he had an absolute mare, to be honest. I don't think he's an out-and-out striker, though. That's the problem.
I've seen him play wide before as well.
Yeah, he's more
I
of a
do
winger.
think Rudden will be your starting centre forward.
I think he will.
He did play in the Hamilton game, which was obviously more of a test of what you'll be playing against this season. That would make me lean towards him. And that's, like I said, that's when he especially was kind of dropping in, feeding the ball. He can move that run. He gets about the pitch very
he's
well.
quite quick.
He's fit. He's everywhere.
He presses a lot. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there was times where he was properly up number 9, and then sometimes he was drifting wide and then dropping in deep to get the ball and then put it out to McGinn or McMullen or whoever was playing at the time. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to show his worth this season. Obviously, it's first full season. I think he'll lead the line well for Dundee.
Definitely.
So this is the first time we're different. I've gone for Rafe Rovers. Again, they've been a good
for
team.
Third, yeah.
For third. They've been a good team for a while. I mean, whenever I do look, they are usually doing quite well. I mean, I think they've been in the playoffs for the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, they have been.
So just on that basis, I've gone them.
Fair
And
enough.
I'm going to go right on at my 4th pick.
Alright.
I've put my wild card in 4th place.
Go for it.
Cove Rangers.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fuck it. Let's
So
shake it
Is
up.
there any reason behind that? Or
They
just
steamrolled through League One, so why not do it in the Championship? They might do it in Arbroath.
they've got no Hartley now.
Ah, well. They've got Kel Goodley, who went to our high school, though, as a subby keeper.
Oh, is he there? Is he?
Well, he was last season. Yeah.
Good.
And if your subby keeper went to the Harris, if your subby keeper went to the Harris, and I taught him how to play rugby, so his goal kicks, that's me.
Who is it? It's Jim McIntyre's manager.
I think so, yeah. Agent Jim.
Fuck
United
me.
Sentinel.
We
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah. You just fell for it.
I know. We took the bait. Excellent.
Yeah, so, again, I don't know. I've gone for Cove.
Aye.
Why not?
Nah. Well, my 4th place.
Yeah.
I know that they over-excelled last season, but I'm gonna go Arbroath.
Backing them. Your local rivals for this season.
Aye. I think they'll finish 4th.
Looking forward to
I
that.
think they'll sneak on
Angus
in the
Derby
playoffs.
this season.
Aye.
with Arbroath.
No, it's a lovely weekend, is it? It's a lovely
I
weekend.
bet you'll hate them on the day. You bastards.
Aye. Fucking black tape.
And that mascot's fish eyes are in the wrong place. Sort that out, Arbroath.
It's not right, that.
The eyes are on its arse.
But you know what, like, the reason that I've went for them is because they pick up a lot of points at home. It's such a horrible place to go.
The Livy of the Championship.
Aye. Well, I mean, it's a horrible place to go because you know how they're going to play against you. They're going to be really physical, organised. They're going to be physical, organised. You know what you're expecting with them, you know? And I think they will get a lot of points still again next season. I mean, how do we look and you know who they did that?
Well, I was going to ask you, is what I think might hurt them is the turnover, because I know that they had a lot of loans, which I think was helping them last season. Has that continued this
They've
year?
added that Keegan Jacobs from Livy.
Okay.
Is a midfielder that I think's actually quite a decent wee player. So that was a good addition for them. And I think they've still got like more or less the spine of the team. Like, because they've still got what's his name? It's a good centre back, O'Brien. He's a good centre back. Remember I was saying that to you when we seen the playoff game. I think he was a baller.
You were wanting him at Dundee.
I would have took him. Yeah. I
Imagine
think
him
he's
and
a good
Sweeney.
centre back. I know, 2-man mountains. But I think
Sweeney's a very large man.
he is, aye. But O'Brien, I think he's a very good player. One of the players that they did lose, and I think it'll be a big loss, but I think that's where Jacobs has came in to replace him, was that Hamilton. You know, the boy that I liked.
Did they not have like 3 or 4 guys called Hamilton?
No,
last
but it
season?
was a boy that, I think it was Chris Hamilton, and
Okay.
he was at Hearts. Like, he was on loan from Hearts. He was
Okay.
only a young lad, 20 or something, but he looked a really good player, keeping the ball and that. He liked to pop it, as Ross would say. And he looked a good player, but he's actually went to Dunfermline, I think. I think he's went to Dunfermline on a free. But again, I thought Dundee would go for a player like that. But to be fair, we've got a lot of midfielders. I think that's probably the last thing that we need. But anyway, sorry, my point is they've still got Gaston, they've got O'Brien, they've got that Jacobs that's came in that I think is going to be a good player for them. And they've still basically kind of got the same faces there. So, and let's be honest, Campbell will still have them pretty organised, won't he? You're like, you know what you're going to expect. So I think they'll nick a playoff place in
Fair
4th.
enough. What about 5th? Who have you gone for?
5th, I went for Rafe.
Rafe.
I think it was a
And this is where I went Partick. So tell us about Rafe Rovers.
I think
Already done Partick.
with Rafe, you know what, like that's what I wrote on there. I think it was a tight one for a playoff place, either with Arbroath or Rafe. I think they're going to switch, possibly. I think with Rafe, as you said, when we were in the championship a couple of seasons ago, I think they were probably the toughest team we played.
I don't know if it was. I think it was the COVID season, the 2020-2021. Our mate Ewan, who will hopefully be on one day, big Rafe Rovers fan. He used to play football with me and Marc. He said that year was the best football he's ever seen Rafe Rovers play, and he was gutted that he couldn't go to the ground to watch it. And also McGlynn's still in charge. Again, I don't know if the team's similar. Was he gone? Is he?
It's Ian Murray.
Did he leave at the end of the season?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Ian Murray's the manager now.
Well, that will maybe things will maybe they'll get better.
But the thing is,
but that's why I was thinking they've been playing well for a few years, and Ewan's been happy for once with Rafe Rovers, and they've always been in that upper mid table. So that's why I thought they could do it. So
that's
see what Ian Murray does.
But that's why it kind of threw me off a little bit for putting them in the playoff, because it's going to be a new manager.
Do you get sacked or do you just get?
I'm not sure, mate. No, I don't think he retired. I think he just parted ways, kind of.
End the contract.
Yeah, I don't know, but what I was going to say, Ian Murray was at Airdrie, and Airdrie done really well last season. And one of their standout players was a guy called Dylan Easton. Now, me and Robbie went to, you know what do you call it? You know the Scottish football show that's on BBC?
View from the Terrace?
Yeah, we went to that live show. And he was actually one of the guests on it, because they kept raving about him, this Dylan Easton. So that Dylan Easton, they were like, oh, who are you going to sign for from Airdrie? He was like, oh, I'm not saying. And then he just went and signed for Rafe, because obviously Ian Murray was his manager, so he's moved with
makes
him.
Sense,
And apparently he's a very good player. But they were playing in one of the cup games, and he scored a hat-trick and done 2 assists or something as well, like in one of the games just recently. So I think he's one to watch for Rafe. And like you say, they've always been quite a good passing side, and they like to play, which I appreciate seeing, as opposed to some of the teams you go and see in the championship. So that's the reason why I've hesitated putting them in 4th, is I think there is a wee bit of transition, and it might need them until next season to really kick on.
So 6th place, that's where I've put Arbroath.
Have you?
Yeah, I don't think they'll be able to reach the heights of last season, just basing off history, second season syndrome, if you want to call it that. But
and like you say, the loan players obviously helped them big.
But they've still got Big Dick Campbell, who's very well versed in lower leagues. So I think they'll be mid. I mean, I don't think Arbroath fans would be that bothered if they were mid-table mediocrity for a season, because considering they were in League 2 a few years ago.
Definitely.
So I've chucked Arbroath in 6th. So who have you gone 6th?
I put in promoted Queen's Park.
Queen's Park.
I've
got them 7th.
Yeah, I went obviously to see them in the cup, and we won 2-1. I would say the first half we battered them, like they couldn't get near us at all. Second half they came out all guns blazing, which they had to, and they started pressing us, and it did shake us a wee bit, but we still had plenty of opportunities to score, but we just weren't taking them. And then they got back in the game out the blue. The keeper should be doing better, to be honest. But anyway, they did start to put more pressure on towards the end, where it was a wee bit shaky and a wee bit ropey.
You got the win.
But we got the win. But I would say that obviously the big thing for Queen's Park is they do have a good back in there.
Is it true that girls still don't like boys? They still like Simon Murray?
That's very true. I think you should have seen him. What a fine specimen. Mate, he was way up for it, by the way. Me and Harry and Rory were all shitting it a wee bit. I seen him in the warm-up, and he's like, let's go, lads! Like right in front of us, you're like, oh fuck.
I'm playing for a movie.
I was seeing him in the fucking warm-up, and he's just putting it in the top corner, and I was oh no.
I see, you used them all up in the warm-up. That's
exactly.
what Harry was saying that.
Yeah, but I was just, oh fuck. Here
like Harry's perfect warm-up for Dundee would be Rudden, Sky and everything. And then like all the goalies, every single goalie, no matter who was playing, would just be dropping everything in the net, like dropping every cross from the coach and all that. You'd be like, that's good. It means he's going to catch them all in the game.
But I think he'll be a big player for them, Single Murray. And
Well, he's played in the SPL for like the early part of his career, so
well, Hibs United,
and he's
us,
obviously he's helped fire Queen's Park up the league, so the championship should be no different.
To be honest with you, I'm surprised we didn't go for him. I think he would have been a really good player for us in the championship, just to give us a wee bit of something different, a wee bit of energy, a bit, you know what I mean? Because I know he's a good finisher, he's energetic, good player to bring on for the last 20 minutes as well.
I mean, it's not going to happen in the summer, but you never know what can happen in January, or if you do get promoted next year, you never know.
He's a Dundee fan.
Well, this is it. If Dundee do have a good season and go up and Queen's Park don't, or even if they go down, which would probably be better for you trying to get him, he might say, look, if you give him an offer, you'd be like, well, I've done my time, I've helped you up here, so let me go. But I don't know what his contract situation is, but you never know.
See what happens. But I think he still stays in Dundee and that as well. So,
there you go.
but another player, I've done my research and I've seen that they've also signed a boy called Grant Savoury. Now, I think he's one to keep an eye on as well, Dan, right? He was at Peterhead, and obviously we had them in the cup. And don't get me wrong, I think Peterhead were the better side than us that game.
Was that Charlie Adam Penn through? Yeah, I remember that.
But it was 3-0, ended up winning.
Oh, did
but
well, that got you going
away. Aye, the penalty did.
Yeah.
But like, we were very fortunate. But that Grant Savoury was at Peterhead, and I'm not going to lie, I think he's a very good player. But he's just moved to Queen's Park, and he was playing against us on through the week there. And he looks a very good player. He's only 19, 20 as well. So he's one to keep an eye on this season. Centre mid.
And so I've already done 7th outside Queen's Park there. Who you got in at 7th?
Hamilton.
Hamilton in that case.
I'm not doing any research on those cunts.
You beat them 3-0, therefore they will finish 8th.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Moving on. I've got, again, Ale United 9th. I don't know.
Well, I've got Cove 8th. And then 9th I've got Ayr.
So we'll both agree on Ayr.
I think Ayr...
So we'll both agree on who's going down as well.
What I would say is Ayr have lost their forward, Adam Muirhead, and he scored...
Former Partick Thistle and Dundee United?
I'm not sure if
was
it's...
that Scott Muirhead? I can't remember.
Anyway, it's Muirhead, but he moved to Partick. That Muirhead, he's a striker. I think he scored a few goals for Ayr last season. So I think they'll be struggling for goals next season. So I could see them being in that kind of playoff relegation spot anyway. And then 10th, like you say, with Greenock Morton, I think they've kind of rode their luck a bit, haven't they? Like for years now. I don't think they're Morton, is it?
Morton, yeah.
No, I mean there's nothing else. But what I have...
I used to like their kits when they were sponsored by Millions.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But you know what? Like I was having
That's all. I don't know a bit more.
I was having a wee look though, Dan. Right now, you like this knowledge, right? So there's been a drastic change of players there, right? So
You've done a Ross County.
9 players have left.
Wow.
And they've only got 6 in.
Oh.
Morton.
That's.
And they've lost...
Just in total.
They've lost a boy that, his name rings a bell, Gary Oliver now. I think he played for Hearts as a striker at some point. And then he's been like the lower leagues, but I think he's the boy that does tend to score goals for them, but he's left. So I'm hanging bye-bye.
Bye-bye Greenock Morton.
So, yeah, so that's my prediction for this season, Danny.
Well, there we go.
I think we're quite similar actually, aren't we?
So that's quite interesting then, a guy that knows that league a bit more than me, has done a bit of research, is not that dissimilar to what I put in. Now I'm going to stop you there, right? Because we've done what usual, and we're not going to blag, we're not going to blather, but we'll have a bit, because we're at, 38 minutes. So what I'm thinking, we'll leave them hanging a wee bit.
Okay.
We'll cut here, we'll call this an episode, we'll have a wee break, we'll hear another juice, because you need to refill on your Ribena there.
I'm out.
And we can just do the Premier League as a separate video. So until next time, which for us will be in about 10 minutes.
Keep it balanced.
Heaven was